Hello and welcome to the forecast for May 19th until May 25th. My name is Desiree DeLune, your acupuncturist, herbalist, and astrologer, and we're going to go over the energetic forecast for this upcoming week. We have one major planetary shift. The sun is shifting into Gemini. So we're going to go into a more airy season, a lot more intellectual stimulation, mind moving quite fast and quick, and maybe even wanting to be a bit more social. I do like the interesting mix of energies that we have for this week. It feels very sophisticated, kind of like a very complex fine wine, for example. So let's dive into it. I am going to share my screen, and please do like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time a new video is up. And that really helps to support the channel. Thank you so much. Okay, so here we go. Let's start in with Monday. Obviously, I need to make this bigger. My apologies. There we go. Now, we are in the last days here of the Sun in Taurus season. So get in your, indulgences, your pleasure, your relaxation, fun, play, absolutely. And have you been doing some different things? Have things just been shaking up for you? Well, we have Uranus that has been very close to the sun. It's only a degree apart on this day. And as you can also see, Mercury is joining the mix. So we have a bit of a stellium here in Taurus. And this is such a nice combination because what I love about Uranus right here, this blue one, this really breaks up the monotony and it brings in fresh new energy and fresh new perspectives and routines. And it is very evolutionary and it's liberating in nature. So if you've been changing things up, maybe even like toying with different, identity within yourself, exploring different parts of yourself that you haven't before. Or, I can tell you for me personally, I have been learning and studying and researching a wide variety of subject matters lately that are not really interrelated, but inviting in new ideas. That's how it's been playing out for me. And, even like figuring out what kind of narratives that I personally want to live by as well. Because Mercury getting close to this mixture, like we're getting a bit of change in thinking and a change in ideas and the change in like what we even value. Taurus often represents the things that we value and what we value as nourishment and as self-care and just soul care. So maybe there's been a reevaluation as well as an implementation of some different practices and just trying different stuff. So definitely that's going to be around for a little bit longer as long as Sun is within about, definitely within 5 degrees of Uranus, we really feel it, but all the way up to 10 degrees away from Uranus, we're going to feel that. So this is even like renewed sense of purpose as well. If some of you feel like reinvigorated in living out your life's purpose, exploring your life's purpose, defining your life's purpose, that's because of all of this Uranus influence upon the sun. Okay, so another thing we've got going is Sun is in sextile with Saturn. Love this. This does, even though Uranus like brings this shakeup, right? But Saturn brings that discipline and responsibility. And I have been talking about even, well, you remember this Uranus is also sextile Saturn. So these groundbreaking new ideas and new ways, and, these things are really becoming grounded in your life. It's not fleeting. It's not like, oh, poof, it was cool, fun, and then it's gone. No. This is really about taking these breakthrough moments and really changing up your life structure, because that's the thing with Saturn. Saturn represents the structure and the routines and the order within our lives and our schedules and organization of our schedules and our discipline and our commitment. And so if your life purpose has gone through some kind of shakeup, okay, with all of this Sun, Uranus, and even Mercury being part of the mix, Saturn is then, hey, all right, well, this is like your new reason. This is your new identity. And now it's time to really put it into action and come up with the long-term plan for this. We've done this major pivot, and Saturn talking to both Uranus and Sun is like, let's make this happen. And I'm going to show you how. And this is how you do it. It's very doable. It's very grounded. It's very sustainable. That's the power of Saturn here in this beautiful blue line sextile communicating with these two planets. Okay, so it's like committing to a new foundation. Make sense? Committing to a new foundation. We also have Sun in sextile with Neptune too, because as you can tell, Saturn and Neptune are pretty close together. And this provides this dreaminess too. It is really great for spiritual insight. It is great for creativity. So not only do we have, the more logical, reasonable side of Saturn here, but we also have that inspired, spiritual, and just I don't know, like soulful perspective of this too. It's not only just, this world. It's not only this world. It's really a combination of the magical, mystical, divine realms with this three-dimensional reality. So we get a combination of both, which is great. That's the best of both worlds, yin and yang. So we also have Sun in trine with Pluto. It's a blue line trine right here. We're going to have that for a little bit, for a handful of days, as Sun continues to go into Gemini pretty soon. But this is very nice for depth of analysis and really like going in deep and really transforming you as well. It's a catalyzing planet. It really accelerates and makes sure that transformation indeed does happen. So again, this is very supportive to both Uranus and Sun with all of our own personal changes that we're going through. All right, now we have Moon. Let's talk about the Moon. Moon is in Aquarius. This is pretty like a chill, cool, calm, logical sign. So it is, moving away from Pluto, so it's not super close to Pluto. However, I help people discover their soul's natural design through astrology. To give an example, I have this client, before her consultation, she felt very stuck and very unsure how to proceed forward with something. But after the consultation, she felt this light inside of her just reignite. So if you can't see your next steps clearly ahead of you, it's incredibly exhausting. It's draining. It's frustrating. And it makes it very hard to make decisions that are in alignment with your true essence. So in a 75-minute cosmic clarity consultation, I help to reveal these key indicators of your natural talents, your purpose, your advantages, your strengths, and putting that all together, you are going to have way more clarity moving forward. I have about 20 plus years of experience in elemental medicine. So the way that I interpret charts, it's very grounded and it's very practical in nature. So if you are ready to transform a confusion into clarity, go ahead and click the link down below to book your Cosmic Clarity consultation, where you get an in-depth reading all about you and how to move about in the world, as well as the recording that you can access for life. It's really calm and collected, and it's very big picture thinking. So now you also have this bird's eye view that is seeing things beyond just like little granular details, but also seeing how the broader vision and how everything is connecting as well. We have Moon square Mercury. I mean, the Moon is having a lot of conversations. Actually, it looks like it is in a T square. So you will see that Moon is in opposition to Mars, which can make one very driven and ambitious and passionate and enthusiastic. Absolutely. It can make you a bit impulsive and rushed as well. And very like confrontational, possibly irritable. It's a lot of yang energy. How about that? So we do have that could come in either way. It can come in the form of just drive and action and passion, and or it can come with irritability, irritation, frustration, aggressiveness as well. And then it's pointing to this top of the triangle at this apex, which is Mercury. And Mercury is in grounded Taurus, okay? I mean, granted, it is talking to all these other planets too, Sun and Uranus, but it's in a grounded Taurus. So when we have a T square like this, you see that big red triangle, you really want to look at the apex. And the apex gives you a great way to handle the opposition between Moon and Mars. And so with Mercury being up here, that's the planet of communication. You need to talk it out. Talk it out, write it out, go ahead and journal. Thankfully, with Moon in Aquarius, which is a very rational, logical placement, and Moon represents our emotions. So I don't feel like the Mars is going to be that difficult, because not only is Moon in a calm and collected sign, but you also have Mercury, part of this T square, in a very grounded, realistic, practical, rational sign too, because Mercury in Taurus, it's going to take its time. It's going to sort and sift through a lot of information and the situation and the circumstances, and really be thorough. It's way less impulsive and reckless in its thinking. It's actually very thorough and considering all the different aspects and angles and kind of doing a deep assessment and evaluation of things. So I feel like just making sure that you are either expressing yourself verbally with someone, maybe you can have a sounding board, or doing some writing and journaling. That will be really helpful if for some reason this Mars opposite Moon is giving you a hard time, meaning you're irate and really frustrated and annoyed, and or you're just going so fast and there's a lot of impatience. If that's happening, go journal, go talk to somebody. Okay, phone a friend. Now, let's see. Let me see if I'm missing anything else for this day. Oh, at least though, we do have a little trine. It's faint. There is a Moon trine Jupiter. It's like a, what is that? It's about 5, 6, 7 degrees away from this trine. But it's there. It's just faint. And usually Jupiter does bring a lot of optimism and positivity and hopefulness and faith and trust and enthusiasm. It's a very positive. It's a positive planet, Jupiter is, but it's faint there. It's not as strong as the opposition that Moon and Mars has. Okay. One other one I want to mention is the Saturn square Jupiter, because we're going to have it for a while. It's going to be here until July 9th. So you have Saturn up here we've been talking about, right? And then Jupiter is over here. There is it's a deep red square. And when we have a square like this, there's a bit of conflict and a little bit of tension here, some difficulty. And so this is that balance between growth, because that's Jupiter. Jupiter just loves to expand. It likes to grow. It makes things bigger. It's the dreamy planet too. I mean, it has grand visions of the future. And then we have Saturn that brings the, kind of a little bit of Eeyore energy. It's practical, realistic, grounded. It's more restrictive. It's focused on what can go wrong, whereas Jupiter is focusing on what can go right. So there are more limitations and restrictions and obstacles and challenges that Saturn can bring. So here's the thing. They both obviously serve their purposes in our lives. And Saturn ensures that Jupiter is not so far away from reality and in La La Land, all right? But then the thing with Jupiter is it's making sure that we're not just popping people's dream bubbles here too, because Saturn can do that. It can be very defeating And why bother? That's Saturn. And so we want to temper the possible pessimism and negativity that Saturn can bring, because it tends to be cold and it's darker, it's more negative, right? And so we want to make sure that Saturn is not going too extreme in that direction. And so Jupiter is making sure, hey, we can do this. It is possible. You like get with the program. So, anyways, they are working together. It is just possibly some slower progress than you'd like it to be, but at least there is progress and it's meaningful progress. Okay. So it is thoughtful expansion. How about that? That is our Monday. So let's continue on to Tuesday. So Tuesday, I believe that's our last. Yep, this is our last day of Sun in Taurus. We'll be wrapping up a lot of things here in Taurus. All that I talked about with Uranus and Sun still apply. And Mercury is getting closer and closer to the Sun. We're not at conjunction yet, though, but Moon is also in Pisces. It is now shifted into Pisces on this day. Pisces is very dreamy. It's very dreamy. It's very imaginative. It's very creative. It's very sensitive. So here, I believe it is aspected. It is square the Sun, trine Jupiter, square Uranus. So it's got a mixture of some difficulties, but it also has this trine happening to Jupiter as well. So that's nice. Now, this is very imaginative placement for the moon, and this would be a great time to listen to yourself and reflect. It's more of a yin sign, so really reflect internally what you're feeling. Also, just take care of yourself, because you might be a bit more sensitive to the people you're around and the surroundings that you are in. So I would put yourself in more calming, soothing waters rather than tumultuous ones, in case you are feeling very overwhelmed. Sometimes that could happen with moon and water signs, is that emotions are felt more intensely and more deeply, and that could be a great thing or that could be a difficult thing. Again, it's just going to depend upon you. Now, we do have Moon in square with the Sun, which is a little bit of like an internal conflict between what what you really want to do, but then what you're feeling like you want to do. Those are in conflict. Think of a lot of shoulding, like I should do this, I should do that, I should, but I don't feel like doing that. So it's a I shoulda kind of day. That's how I see like a moon square with the Sun. So kind of feeling emotionally at odds with what you feel like you should be doing, essentially, is something that you might deal with. I would just surrender to the emotions on this day with moon being in Pisces, and whatever you feel like, whatever feels good to you, whatever feels satisfying for you and nourishing and healthy for you, go with that. At least we do have that moon with a little bit of a trine to Jupiter right here. Jupiter is in Gemini, and that does bring some warmth. Okay, some like little hopeful feelings, and also for you to just choose yourself so that you can flow with whatever you're going through. Moon is in square with Uranus. Obviously because it's right next to the Sun. So that's one thing that Uranus does, is bring a lot of unpredictability. And it's a box of chocolates kind of day. We don't know what kind of emotions we're going to be experiencing, but again, water treatment would be my recommendation. Taking a bath, taking a shower, go in the lake, go in the ocean, go into a float tank, something like that. Hydrotherapy would be recommended while moon is in Pisces if things are feeling internally a bit rocky. Okay. So let's see. Next, let's go on to Wednesday. Wednesday is a big day. This is when Sun enters into Gemini, and we are entering Gemini season. We also seem to have a mini grand trine here. So Sun's in Gemini. It's trining Pluto, and it's sextiling, both of these, Sun and Pluto are sextiling Neptune here. So you see this little blue triangle at the top. So these are very harmonious, supportive energies. With Sun being in Gemini, this is going to be a very curious placement. This is where you might have more interest in learning something. You might need more mental stimulation, could even be a bit more mentally restless as well. But it's also very social. It's a very social sign, so you might want to just kind of be out and about a little bit more. I mean, the weather is getting better. Hopefully for you, it's getting better for us over here. It's soon going to turn sweltering hot in Austin. We have a very short time where it feels delightful and then it's uncomfortable. So with this so writing, socializing, studying, learning, reading, following your curiosity. That's really the name of the game here with the Gemini energy, is follow your curiosity. This is where you have permission to, oh, I'm into this. Oh, I'm into that. And now I'm into that and that, and just kind of going all over the place. Yeah, there's this time for it. It's right now. So if your passions and interests keep squirreling here and there and all around and everywhere, go do it. Go do it. It's a good time to do it. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for all this need for exploration, to taste the rainbow, because you're gathering important information and data and experiences from doing that. We also have Mercury that is getting closer to Uranus. And every day it's going to get closer and closer, all right? And it is also, let's see, it's about 10 degrees away from the sun too. So we're starting to hit this conjunction here with Mercury. But Mercury conjunct Uranus, this is, Mercury, think about it as the mind. It is our thoughts, all right? It is the way we learn. It's the way we speak and communicate. Uranus brings sudden insights. It is lightning strike, aha revelations. It's brilliance. It's genius. It's innovative. It is bringing in new ideas. Do you see how you put these together? Very revolutionary ideas, revolutionary thoughts. I mean, this is breakthrough type of ideas that come through that just change the course of things. I mean, really be open to those moments. And when those moments come, do write it down, document it somewhere, because you don't want it to go away. All right. Just capture it. It's very, very powerfully mentally stimulating time. If you've been feeling a little bit stuck or in a rut, mentally, or maybe within your work, within your creativity or something like that, kind of getting writer's block, this will clear that out. So enjoy what comes through here. The Mercury also represents our nervous system. And with this electrifying energy from Uranus, that can overstimulate the nervous system too. So possibly just be a little careful. I can tell you, in my situation, because I'm sensitive to caffeine, I'm probably going to reduce the amount of caffeine that I have in a day, because this might exacerbate it. So just some things to keep in mind. If you're finding yourself a little bit more wired and restless and just jittery and or you just have a lot of energy, then it's more than likely because of this conjunction that's happening between Mercury and Uranus. Now, we also have Moon it's still in Pisces, okay? It's unanchored, meaning there are no aspects to the moon. There's no other planets talking. It is just floating by itself. I mean, okay, when I see all this together, wow, it's almost like an otherworldly type of experience. You are floating around in a dreamland. That's the sensation I get from Moon in Pisces on its own, unaspected. And now we have all this electrifying type of energies coming in that we're channeling and downloading. Look, Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. And so Mercury is your everyday thoughts, but Uranus is something divine. And that's why I say like what comes through with Uranus, that's also otherworldly. That's also from a divine source. So I feel like this is it can be a very spiritual day for some of us. It can be a very insightful day as well. Okay, so that is, well, there's a lot of yang energy too. I mean, I know moon is in this yin sign, but there is a lot of yang happening. So keep in mind of that. Let's go to Thursday. Thursday, moon is still in Pisces. We got this dreamy moon for quite a while. However, it is now next to Saturn. Do you see? Well, at least at this time. I always set it for 9 a.m. Central Time, my time. But obviously, the moon moves throughout the day. But in the morning, it's going to be together, the moon and Saturn. Now, when moon and Saturn comes together, it can bring a little bit of loneliness. It can bring some restriction. It can bring some heaviness. Also, a need to take care of responsibilities and maybe even feeling burdened by responsibilities. So I can see a little bit of a tension between the moon wanting to kind of escape from the real world and kind of be in more of a dreamy, fantastical space. Our emotions are wanting to just indulge in some fantasy or pleasure, play. And then there's Saturn that is like, hey, you need to do the laundry. Hey, the dishes. Hey, you need to finish that project. So, and then it's also, we have the Saturn square Jupiter we talked about earlier in the week, and moon is then square Jupiter too. So yeah, that can go either way, like where you're trying to really indulge in play and then yet feeling guilty about it. So I feel like there's going to be some internal conflict and turmoil around that. But allow yourself to explore your inner world, your inner realms. This is a really good week, actually. I would say also same as last week, where you are doing a lot of internal exploration, because a lot of things are being revealed right now, things that have been maybe hidden from our conscious awareness, hidden from us, or think of it like this too, like blinders are coming off. Sometimes, we don't see things not because we don't want to, not because we're trying to avoid or deny. I mean, that does happen, but not because of that, but because there literally is like it's like a blind spot and we can't see it. Just like in driving, you have a blind spot there. And so with Uranus doing what it's doing right now in our lives, it's like blasting away the blind spots, and now you're really seeing what's already been there, and things that were previously hidden to you are now suddenly coming into your conscious awareness now. And so it's a very revealing time, like internally revealing time of your true purpose and motives and desires. I mean, haven't you been reevaluating life a lot lately? I definitely have. Oh my gosh, like what really matters, what's really important, what is happiness and what is success and what is satisfaction, like just very like deep introspective way of going about life right now. Is just, wow, does that really matter to me? Do I want to live life by my own terms and my own standards, or am I really going to keep fighting society's standards, And it gets the best of all of us. All of us have to do some level of deprogramming and shedding and releasing in order to live in our truest essence. It's just, nobody can escape that. Okay. All right. So that's our Thursday. Let's talk about Friday. Friday is fun. Friday is a high energy day. Like we've had a moon, in Pisces for the last few days. And then now we have this transition to Aries, which is a fiery sign. And we already have a lot happening in Aries since Neptune crossed over. We have Venus there. We also have Chiron there too. But if you can see, moon is in Aries, and it is just snuggling up to Venus, and Venus and Moon together is very social. You know, it's very warm and compassionate and empathetic and just really wants some connection. And with Aries here, there's a lot of passion involved too. Super romantic. And then get this, you have Mars that is in trine with Moon as well as Venus. Okay, they're all in trine. So here, the Moon is well positioned in this sense because Mars is talking to it and Mars rules Aries. So this is only going to amp up this level of excitement and passion and energy and fire and enthusiasm. Like this is good stuff. And it's going to be really easy to take action because Aries, Mars, that's what it's all about. It's all about taking action and aligned action at that. I mean, the moon's already been going through a lot the last few days, and there is less resistance in this sense, like it, because we have Venus there. Venus really just makes things a lot more harmonious and smoother in general. And then we have all of this like spiritual wisdom and intelligence that we're getting from Neptune here as it touches Neptune on its way over, as it's crossing through Aries. So I love it. It's yeah, it's a really great time. We have, let's see, Venus also in a sextile to Jupiter. That's really nice. That brings, again, more hope and positivity and warmth and enthusiasm. So definitely go have some fun with some people on Friday. I definitely recommend doing that. You might even get a big dose of creative energy too. That's another way that this could absolutely express. And with with Uranus next to Sun and Mercury even getting closer to Uranus, everything we talked about, that trio of energy, is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then you throw in all that Gemini, that, you know, the sun's in Gemini, like your mind and your emotions, they're all very, very active. Okay. They're like on fire and blowing around. And it is, there's so much yang. However, it's going to be fun. Like to me, this looks really, really fun in terms of the yang energy. And there is some softness too. I mean, it's between that Neptune and Venus that is communicating with the moon. That does bring some of this feminine energy as well. So it isn't just pure wildfires by any means. Deep feeling, spiritual insight, awareness, compassion. I mean, it's just a great mixture. I really, really love Friday. So high energy, very exciting, and very mentally active for our Friday. Now, let's take a look at Saturday. Saturday, we have Moon. It is still at the tail end of Aries, so we still have a lot of that fire energy. It is sextile with Jupiter. So same thing, like, wow, really positive, really excited and hopeful, and also spiritual too. Like that's a thing about Jupiter in Gemini. It has been quite introspective as well. So, you know, I love like all the actions that we're taking. They feel very intentional and purposeful and more more aligned, but it's evolved too. Like we've been growing. Each and every one of us have been growing so much in this past handful of months. I feel like a lot internally. If it's not showing externally, that's fine. But internally, there's just been a whole restructuring, and so it's really now I feel like we're starting to initiate things and initiate things into action with all of this fire energy, with Venus in there and Neptune in there, and obviously, you know, Friday, Saturday, we've got the moon in there too, but it's the start of some new things. And if you're starting new things, please share it with us down in the comments below. Okay, now to continue on, we have Moon that is in square with Pluto. Sometimes that can bring a little bit of like an emotional undercurrent. Yes, deep feelings there. Also facing fears, that happens with Moon in a difficult conversation with Pluto. We have Mercury trine Pluto. Thankfully, that's in trine. because that is going to help at least put words to those feelings that we're having. And it's great for, I'd say, deeper soul searching kind of activities, emotional healing, energetic healing, things of that nature. Okay, now Sunday, we have Moon is in Taurus. Now it has shifted and it's going to be getting closer to all this Uranus and Mercury energy. So whatever you've been thinking about, or maybe some new ideas, wow, you're going to start feeling them. You're going to actually start feeling them in your body as Moon is going into Taurus. And it is stabilizing though, okay? So think of like another iteration of all of this newness really stabilizing into your body and grounding it into your life and into the structures of your life. And it's committed and it's devoted, and it's very purposeful and intentional. So I really love Moon, and Moon does very well in Taurus. You're going to have more peace with all the stuff that you're learning. That's what I love about Moon in Taurus, more of like acceptance and a smidge of like indulging and enjoying yourself. Taurus is really good at pleasure. Okay, it's very good at that. We have Mercury sextile Neptune. That's really nice. That brings a bit of that poetry in our lives and the way that we think and start seeing things more from a spiritual perspective too, and it brings a lot of spiritual insight essentially when we have this Mercury with a Neptune conversation and it's in sextile, which is lovely. Okay, so groundedness, inspiration, sensitivity, deep like soul level communication. Like I said, it's such a great mixture. That's why I was saying that this week it's like a sophisticated fine wine. It is complex in its flavor profile. So I would definitely do some writing and journaling this week because I think you will happily discover some information, insights, perspectives, and direction and clarity on how you're going to start making actions. Look, we have all of these planets. Saturn, oh my goodness, I need to mention this. Saturn on Sunday, this is a big thing. I cannot believe I failed to find this. Saturn is moving into Aries, okay? Look, Saturn is really like our long-term goals. And Saturn it's about a couple years per sign. So it's like 30 years-ish when it comes all the way around to the same point. Now you got to think about this. Saturn just finished up in Pisces, okay? And Saturn has done a complete cycle from Aries and through all the 12 zodiac signs until Pisces. So Saturn in your life has gone through all the signs in the last 30 years and has developed and gained all of this wisdom as it moved through all the signs. And it just closed up on Saturday as its last day in Pisces. And for the next couple of years, Saturn's going to be in Aries. And what does this mean? This is another reason why I've been saying like some of our life goals, that we had before, we thought that we wanted and we thought that was important to us, that is changing. There's a whole new initiation. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, especially at degrees 0 and 1 minute. Okay, this is the beginning. This is the initiation of your new like long-term goal and long-term plans. Now, look, if you don't officially start something on Sunday, that's okay. It takes some time for a sign to fully like settle in, especially if it's, in an area for a long period of time. But just understand that something about your legacy and your personal goals, it has gone through a new evolution and it may have changed drastically, and that's great and that's fine. And Saturn is going to start a new 30-year cycle. Okay. So I have been saying, definitely, hey, we're this year, this is think long term. This is another indicator. I've been saying 7 years because Uranus is going to be crossing over into Gemini on July 7th, and Uranus is in a cycle for 7 years, but really like the next 30 years. Really, what do you want to do the next 30 years? So start asking yourself those kinds of questions, because Saturn is the planet of commitment and discipline and hard work and effort and leaving a legacy and showing up every day committed and devoted to what matters, what's most important, and what are our priorities in life. And it is very grounded, and it makes things happen, and it can wait 30 years for something to come to fruition. It is incredibly patient. So there could be a little bit of like, oh, I want this to develop now because Aries is a bit more impulsive, but sorry, that's not how it's going to work with Saturn. It's going to take years and years and years, and that's just how he works. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this forecast. I look forward to seeing you in next week's forecast. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. Are confusion and self-doubt clouding your path forward? When we can't see our next steps ahead of us, this creates incredible amounts of stagnation, and we struggle with making decisions that are in alignment with our true nature. And when there is all of this uncertainty, it is very draining of our energy and really dims our light. And this is where the wisdom of the natal chart comes in. When you are in a cosmic clarity consultation, we decode your natural energy signatures, your innate talents, your soul's purpose, your advantages, your strengths. And I have 20 plus years of experience in elemental medicine. So my approach to this is very grounded, very practical, and tangible. You'll walk away with knowing what to do. Now, when you book a cosmic clarity consultation, you get your natal chart, you get the recording, as well as timestamps for key insights that you might want to revisit. So don't let confusion hold you back. There's a link down below. Book that 75-minute cosmic clarity and discover the clarity that you have been searching for.